Welcome to 2024, our first podcast of the year. We sit down with Coach Megan D-Mite Leighton. We talk about what Megan has lined up for this year in terms of competing herself and her coaching, as well as Megan's art and art background and the style that she is working on, which involves lifting and painting at the same time. We discuss her upcoming event at her gym on the 26th of January, which will showcase her art and teach people how they can create it themselves. What I enjoyed about this conversation was touching on the depth of the coach and the athlete as well. We are all more than just athletes and coaches, and it was great to go into detail with Megan about her other interests and focus. And this is something that we're going to be looking to do and extend with our podcasts in 2024. So welcome to Coffee and Conversations with Champions, the Powerlifting and Artist edition. And we are recording. Meg, welcome back. D-Mite, thank you for taking the time to chat to us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Do you like how I segue straight into that?
Perfect.
we're chatting nonsense. Chatting's like, right, let's record. Hello.
Let's go.
The first day on the radio, I was using my DJ voice. And it's like reading the traffic. Reading the traffic was my most fun part. So, Meg, we got a lot to chat about today. So we're going to talk about sort of your lifting, your gym, and all your coaching, and then also your art stuff. So I think maybe let's chat about that because, last year with all of the interviews we did, we really focused on lifting, what lifting means to people. And it's kind of fun being able to chat to you now a little bit sort of behind the athlete, behind the coach. So firstly, welcome. Thank you again. And the special guest is sleeping at your feet, I believe.
She is. I'll wake her just now.
Okay, good. We get to visit. That's what I'm so excited about. I can't wait to meet her. Let's chat about sort of your art. And because you've got a background in art as well. And we were saying when we were chatting earlier that you had to make a decision sort of on where you wanted your life to go, powerlifting or art.
Yeah, so to give you some context, I studied fine arts. I have my honors, and in my third year, I was kind of at a crossroads and I wasn't really sure if I wanted to stick around in the art world. So I decided to try and pull my powerlifting into it because I had a feeling that powerlifting coaching was what I needed to explore next. So in order to, get through the last year of my studies, I pulled in powerlifting and kind of just made my own space in the art world, in the White Cube gallery space, by physically making a room for me to train in that kind of environment. So what started out as a little experiment with me and a broomstick and a Sharpie and a piece of paper, doing some squats and playing around in my studio, ended up being this entire movement room that I created at Wits Art Museum in my final year. It was a room made out of PVC pipes and perspex and gym flooring. And I got to paint and move in this space that I'd made. And it was such a nice intersection of my two worlds without trying to, balance them perfectly. They just, by merging them, they created something completely new.
Right.
And, came into a world of their own. So yeah, that's how my movement drawings started, and I've recently touched base again with that practice, which has been a lot of fun. And now I'm going to host an event for other people to try it too, which I'm very excited about.
That's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm hosting it on the 26th of January at Barbells 1610. So again, I'm creating a movement drawing room. But now I won't be in a gallery, I'll actually be in a gym. So we're bringing the art world into the gym. And basically, we'll have a group training session, a group printmaking session where everyone will have access to rolls of paper, handmade brushes that are attached to broomsticks and barbells, and I'll take them through weightlifting and powerlifting and accessory movements, teaching them technique for those who have never touched a bar or a weight in their life, and teaching you some printmaking practices for the people who have never done anything artistic in their lives.
So this is really for anyone. You don't have to be an experienced lifter.
Yeah,
and
not at all. So,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, artists, athletes, friends.
What sort of age
Yeah,
group?
it's really easy. Ideally adults. Yeah.
So you're excluding all the guy powerlifters. Have you ever met an adult guy?
No, they are more than welcome. No, I can confirm they are coming too.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, it's open for everyone.
Okay, awesome. And what can people expect? I think when we were chatting earlier, you mentioned sort of 2 packages.
Yeah, so the first package is you get access to that group movement and mark making session where we're all creating prints and going through the techniques. And then there's like a station where you can make your own print to take home with you. You can also take your big canvas home with you that you've painted. And we are having a little barbell bar, which Nicole will be running. And awesome. She'll make you a little welcome drink. So that's all the first package, 3 things included in that. And then for anyone who doesn't feel quite ready to take the leap and paint and lift with us, they're welcome to just come and socialize. So there's another ticket option for them. It also includes a welcome drink, and you can just come and watch us do our thing, and then decide from there if you want to take it further or give it a bash.
Okay, awesome. Just while we're chatting, I'm just going to resize your window because it's a little bit off to the side. So if you bear with me for that. So what are the costs? Can you sort of chat about that now, or?
Yeah, sure. I'll send you the link. You can share.
Brilliant.
The tickets. You can register on a Google form. The socialize option is 175 Rand, which includes your welcome drink and your entrance. And then the full package, which includes the 2 different types of printmaking and lifting, is 550, and that also includes a welcome drink and a lot of fun with our barbell team and artists, tattoo artists.
Hey, that's going to be cool.
Cool people.
Awesome.
That I'm lucky to know coming through.
100%. Yeah. So now, where have you sort of gone with this format of art, the style of art that you started with? I'm thinking as we're chatting, this is going to be really great to talk about for our lifestyle channel as well. So we'll keep you on for that. So tell us a little about how it's evolved.
So what started as just experimentation turned into this full installation and performance art, which I think as a concept, you don't have to relate to anything arty, but as a power lifter, so much about what we do is performance art. Everyone moves so differently. The lines we create with our bodies and the bar, and what we're able to do with our bodies is so unique and so different. I'm actually excited to see how that looks on different canvases, because my prints are very one-dimensional because that's how I lift and how I move, but everyone's going to look so different based on their levers and technique and exercise history. So going from that performance art into a period where I didn't really touch it for a long time, but I kept training. It has evolved now into a practice for me to almost be able to stay involved in lifting, but step back in the periods where it does get a bit much, where there is, a competition every month, or it's a really hard training block, or, mentally it's just a bit overwhelming. You can step back and still have this really free, creative expression of movement without being attached to numbers or, your training program. Or being perfect, like let's talk about equipped lifting. If you don't get that line 100% right,
Yeah.
you might not stand up with your weight or get it off your chest. There's so much attention to detail there that you need. Whereas with this kind of thing, there's a certain beauty of, losing your balance a little bit when you've got a paintbrush in your hand, and, you step forward by mistake because you get distracted, and then you have a beautiful line on your canvas that wouldn't be there if you were so intensely focused on, having a perfect technique the whole time.
Right.
So now, yeah, it's it's the same concept. I enjoy the fact that people get to move in a different way, but it's something really familiar to a lot of people. I think going forward, it's, I'd love for this concept to just become bigger than standing next to a piece of paper and drawing. I'd love for there to be a little merch line, and, this concept of, making your own mark in the world, wherever it is, or the intersection of things that you love, and that like obsession of pushing hard in like two completely different areas. Those kind of concepts, I think, ring true for a lot of people. So yeah, I'd like to, I think over time, move away from the actual performance of it, and for it to become like a bit of a lifestyle that people can adopt and appreciate for how it fits into their own lives, their own hobbies.
It sounds that, and I think the art aspect of it is maybe kinder or gentler than the lifting, because with a competition lift, you've got your 3 referees and you've got your jury, and it's yes or no. And
Exactly.
it has to be perfect. There's no points for interpretation of the beauty of the movement. And that to a degree is what makes the sport so fantastic. But I love what you're doing with the art aspect of it, where you're saying just even the movement, the interpretation of the movement, which is how it's the ink or the paint is being applied to the canvas, that is capturing that moment in time. And that can then, the beauty in that can be reflected by who's looking at it, and then taking the time to explain it and understand it. And, I think, chatting, I'm sure it's going to be fun to chat to Coach Steve about watching the movement and seeing how he would interpret that versus someone who has no idea of the movement, where it's just something quite beautiful. And what I also love about what you posted with some of your artwork is the height that you can attain. So if you've got a tall area that you want to fill with a piece of art, this is absolutely perfect for that. And I suppose it can be done on different levels, and the art can actually evolve as well. You can maybe take 3 different canvases and you mount them on top of one another as your lift progresses. Over a time frame, you can put the different snapshots of that moment of lifting together. It's very, very cool.
Exactly.
So that's I think every single gym should have. Absolutely, every single gym out there should be doing this. I mean, every CrossFit box should be having this sort of as a fun day. You do this at the beginning of the year, and you can look at your lifting, and then you do it at the end of the year, and you look at your lifting, and where the lifting has improved may not, as you said, where you lose balance and you end up with a different line. The improvement on the lifting may not mean better or more beautiful art, but the meaning behind it can be quite profound. Showing, your
Oh, for
commitment to
sure.
showing up, to your commitment to your training, your commitment, your sacrifice that you've made. There's a lot of meaning behind those movements. That's very, very exciting. So this is something where you could be moving into big time.
Don't know. We'll see where it takes us.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
very, very cool. How
But
big are the canvases
I'm
that you're
very
bringing
excited.
in? Yeah.
So for the group session, those canvases are about 2 meters tall by about a meter. So everyone gets like a sheet of
So I was going to say,
finished print paper there.
if you're getting the Furmans involved, you're gonna need some taller
extend
paper.
that a bit.
Right.
Bring a step ladder.
Yeah. Okay, so 2 meters.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's roughly the size, and it's those prints aren't meant to be perfect. You try and get as close to the wall as you can, so that your brush can follow the whole movement and touch the paper at the same time.
Right.
That doesn't always happen though, and that's perfectly fine. Then what's nice is you can sort of take those principles and take them to your little do-it-yourself print station and try and like imitate those brush strokes in a much more controlled manner. So you'll have like a little handheld brush,
Right.
can make these little things that have, that are like nice to hold in like different positions.
Oh wow. Okay.
Sorry, I don't know where my camera is.
Yeah. There we go.
So you'll have like things like this to play with, to paint with, and that'll be on proper Fabriano print paper, so you can frame it afterwards. You can
Awesome.
put it up in your gym.
What I'm going to do is I'm just adding you in here solo. Can you show us that again? And then also show us just an example of the art. That'll be fantastic. Okay.
There's a little brush.
Sure.
Yeah, it's got cool attachments so you can really hold it however you wish. Right. And then here's a print I did back in 2017.
Oh wow, okay.
So that is very much what what all my movements look like. There's a clean in there, and there's a squat, and there's some bench press.
Right.
But all just imitated on a much smaller scale. There's even some lifting chalk in there.
Okay.
Yeah, and different colors for different lifts, and that's what I was feeling.
That's very, very cool. What was sort of the reasoning behind? So I completely botched that one. There we go. Let's go back to this one. Me and my toys. I love buttons. Okay. What is sort of the choice of color with the black and white and the gray and white?
So that was pretty much what stood out with both the powerlifting and the art world. In the art world, you have this white cube gallery. Everything's got to be perfect and pristine, and then most little powerlifting gyms in South Africa at the time were pretty dark and a little bit dingy. The gym flooring has seen better days.
The gym flooring had seen better days in 1975.
Yeah. So I've always loved these neutrals. So it really just is a scale from that white cube space to your dark grays and your the dark tones that relate to your heavy metal that you get to lift with, your steel and your bumpers, and the grit there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is my color scheme, and we'll keep with that color scheme for the event as well. So everyone will be painting with grays and blacks and whites, and then also using different mediums to add into the paint that add some texture to the canvas, to add some grain and a bit of a 3D effect.
Okay, sure, fantastic. So that's on the 26th. How do they book?
So if you go to my Instagram at D-Mite Meg, there's a link there. It's a Google form. Just register there, and you can make payments, and then you will get an email confirming all the details, and we'll see you in Barbell 1610.
So let's change this up quickly. I'm going to put this on here. And so it's at D-Mite Meg, huh? Got it.
That's the one.
And is that right? That's good.
Ta-da.
There we go.
Yep, that's me.
Sweet, that's you. 100%. So let's chat about the lifting, raw or equipped. What the plans for the year?
That's like the hardest decision you can make a powerlifter make. Well, actually, no. A lot of people will give you one answer very quickly, and they'll say classic. But not me, though. I don't know. I am in two minds.
I mean, the equipped becomes addictive because the equipped becomes addictive, right? Because of the precision that's required. It's, maybe with the classic raw bench or even the squat, or, if your groove's off by a couple of degrees, you can catch it.
Yeah, you can grind through a lift. Equipped is a lot less forgiving.
So, all right. Cool. And then what are the comps that are coming up? Yeah.
If you only have 9 minutes to make your 9 attempts, everything's on the wire.
Everything's on. And even getting into the gear and staying there and being ready for it. And
super fun.
It's just the wrong pull down, too much of a strong pull down on the shirt or the set, the setup, the twist of a shot. It's, And I mean, there's a physical risk to it. Yeah, that's it. Can't get down. Yeah. And even trying to get down for the deadlift is going to be a challenge. So what are the comps this year that you're going to be focusing on? Because with essays, you just really got to show up and, do what you got to do. So it's fun in the career where essays for some is like the big one. And for you, it's just get it done what you need to do. The comps that are coming
it's still
up.
A big one.
No, 100%.
It's huge. It's huge. Definitely has its weight behind it. But that's the thing. I've also done this for long enough that, I know what to focus on. If you're not focusing on yourself and your 9 attempts, then, you can pretty much count yourself out anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
So get to essays and then, hopefully make the team and either do opens in Lithuania or opens in Iceland.
Okay.
Either way would be incredible. And then we have some lovely comps in SA too. We have Commonwealths and African champs in October, and then World Masters straight after that.
Yeah. So are you moving into Sun City for a month?
Might have to. We'll just figure out that closer to the time.
We're going to see a Barbell 1610 like a caravan or a mobile home.
Parked
at Sun City.
Move our lifters in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I mean that can become quite a challenge, and I think just to touch on that, where you spoke about essays and focus on yourself. For you, you're focusing on a lot of athletes, all with different needs, different goals, different objectives, and moving, and then you also want to compete as well. So how's the coaching going? How's the gym going? But let's just, we'll chat about that. Let's talk about how do you manage that? How do you manage your nutrition, your energy levels, your sleep when you're also managing a lot of clients?
It is challenging. I think last year really, really showed that. And we learned a lot from, how we were doing things last year. We realized we can't do everything. Every coach does not need to be responsible for every single facet of, someone's prep. And, the first half of last year, we had like 7 comps in 6 months. Most of our athletes almost did all of them, or at least 4 of them. So, it was go, go, go the whole time. We were exhausted come July. And I think this year we've we've definitely sorted out our systems a lot more. So we've got a really nice online training app now for our clients where their program and nutrition and all of that will be in one place.
Okay, awesome.
So that really helps us for both our online team and our in-person team. But I think just as much as, we want to be gentle on ourselves, we want to err on the side of caution with our members too, and tell them it's okay not to do everything. You don't have
Mm,
to, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a hobby. You want to be training for the benefits. You don't want it to take over your life in a way that doesn't make this fun anymore.
right. And that
Um,
can happen
so
quite easily, huh?
yeah, very, very easily and very quickly too, and sometimes almost without realizing it until
Mm,
it's too late. And we want people to just enjoy the sport, for a long time and be master for still wanting to go to essays. Um, but you just have to be a little bit more gentle on yourself and decide, okay, in the grand scheme of things, what's most important this year? Is it a podium spot and a spot on the
mm,
world's team? Or is it just, loving training, hitting your goals, whether it's in the gym or on platform, and still making it to, 2025 as a powerlifter? Um,
yeah.
so yeah, it is tricky to manage, but I think you just have to be realistic at the end of the day, um, and powerlifting is always going to be there, or at least the competitive side.
Right.
You don't have to do every single one, and
And I think that's quite a big
for you to
thing.
still make a
Mm,
mark.
yeah. You've been coaching for a long time, and you've seen clients sort of come in and then people leave, or I mean, not even your clients, just athletes come in, they do really well, and then they burn out, and they leave the sport, and I think they also leave the benefits that it brings. How have you found that
Yeah.
as a coach working with athletes to get them, as you were saying, just you don't have to do everything, but that's sometimes a difficult conversation to have. So how have you found sort of
For
managing
sure.
that relationship with the clients?
So I think you ultimately have to know why they're training. Is it to be able to get off the toilet by themselves when they're 80, a few decades down the line, or to, keep up with grandkids and kids?
Mm,
Um, or is it because they want to be the best powerlifter in the world? Then their training journey looks quite different. It's the same foundation, but it looks quite different. So if you can figure out why they're training, it's a lot easier to keep them invested and, get them towards that goal and actually understand that every step, they're taking on the way is so important.
right.
Um, I think regardless of the goal, having that end in sight, not like the end of your training journey, but either having a comp day, or a date by which you can actually look back and see the progress you've made. That's what
Mm,
keeps people in the sport. And it doesn't always have to be more kilos on the bar. That's great for a lot of people, and it is achievable. But at the same time, if you can, finally squat to depth after, a life of inactivity, or
yeah.
if you finally feel like you can feel confident unracking a 20-kilo bar by yourself, those things are huge. And I think often we don't appreciate the mental side of the sport enough, and
Hmm.
often those PBs and those confidence things, and the way this kind of movement makes a person feel so much better about themselves, like those PBs are as important as your 2.5 kilos on a squat that maybe took 3 years to get.
Right.
um,
I think the
Yeah.
thing you've seen, and I think it's a good opportunity to move into our special guest quickly, because I want to chat to you about the culture that you guys have created in the gym. So maybe if you want to move the iPad down so you don't wake her, or do you
I'll
want to
just pick
keep?
her up.
Okay, cool. Let's have a look. No, this is so cool. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen?
Ooh, it's a very sleepy baby.
Oh,
It's so hard to pick up when she's like this.
hey. Oh,
Oh,
hello. Sorry for waking
oh,
you up.
sorry. And then
Hey.
putting it right on camera.
Yes,
Sorry.
look at that.
Everybody meet
Oh,
Griffin.
hello, Griffin.
She's so sleepy. She's
Hey.
probably just gonna like
Sh-
sleep on my lap now.
Okay, shall we? I mean, Liz, we can put it
Okay.
back down, but sort of, Griffin spends a bit of time in the gym, right?
Yes, plenty. Oh, she loves it.
So I think that's having a dog-friendly gym is such a special thing, and it's quite a unique thing. And I think it's not something that one would really find in a commercial gym. How is
Yeah.
sort of tell us a little bit about the culture and the community that you guys have built at 1610.
It's a really fun one. It's really family orientated. It's such a nice group of people because we are all from, such different backgrounds.
Mm.
Hello. Um, and we all share this love of powerlifting, but, there's so many different careers across the gym, ages, experience levels, and I, I don't actually know how we managed to get this culture so
Right.
right because when I
Yes.
look at other gyms, I'm like, I could never train there, like
Mm.
that would never suit me. Um, but I mean, we enjoy life, we we are obviously serious about powerlifting
Mm.
when we need to be, but we also know that there's more to it. So we have people coming into the gym and they've had a really bad day at work and they actually don't feel like getting through their program on that day. They would rather cuddle Griffin for a bit
Mm.
and chat with us, and they feel as good when they leave as if
Yeah.
they PB their bench or whatever the case may be. Um, and I think like our community is um, we're quite nerdy, and we enjoy Harry Potter, and we enjoy um, like spending time with friends and just like enjoying a simple life, I
Right.
think.
100%.
um, yeah, I'm really glad it's evolved to this. We're not the typical gym, but um, gym.
Right.
There aren't guys taking off their shirts in class. Like, we're not about that. We're just, like honestly, everyone's welcome, every experience level, every body type, every goal. Um, yeah,
I think
it's a good place.
the community is so important. Where even sort of in a big city, you can be surrounded by people, but still be very, very lonely. And having a place that you can
Yeah.
go and cuddle Griffin and just chill if you don't want to train, and have a place where you feel that you belong. I think particularly what we've been through the last couple of years with the pandemic and with the isolation, how has the gym become sort of a safe place, a community place for your members, and how important have you seen that become for your members?
Yeah, it's really crucial, especially people, who are working from home or have been like forced to, you realize how many people just don't see other people. You do need some kind of outlet. You do need to make adult friends.
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of relationships are so important for your growth and, just to see life through a different lens. Um, so what we did with our community, we de-affiliated from CrossFit in 2020 during lockdown. So we used to be CrossFit 1610, with still with a focus on powerlifting. But what we decided to do in the last year was rebrand our group strength and conditioning to a strong and spicy membership. It's a more fun way of doing strength and conditioning, still with a huge focus on technique and programming.
And it's a perfect description.
It is 100%. So yeah, like we're really pushing technique and good programming, but in a group environment. So it's not super individualized, but there's still enough room for people to scale it, choose their own intensities, get enough help with their technique and actually feel like they're seeing progress week to week, and teaching them skills like RPE and, those kind of things. But in Strong and Spicy, we developed a system of houses in our gym. So as when you get your Hogwarts letter and you go off to Hogwarts, you get sorted into a house. When you come to 1610, you too get sorted into a house. And this has been a really nice way to have some friendly competition and, community building within the gym. So every 12 weeks, after a Strong and Spicy block that we've programmed, we'll have a shindig, which is a themed event where our 3 houses, so Chantal runs a house, I run a house, Erin runs a house, our 3 houses compete against each other.
And what are the houses' names, if we may ask?
The houses, so Chantal's is Glimmer Draki, mine is Sulfur, and Erin's is Loch Lutrine. Well, yeah, there's a whole story about all of that.
Cool.
But
we're saving that for another podcast.
Yeah, we host these events, and the teams battle it out for points. So they'll be doing double deadlifts and tire flips and a whole bunch of cool exercises, or just getting together for a nice social. And then we award a house cup at the end of the year. Which Erin is not letting anyone else win as of yet. Which
how does that make you feel?
Like I'm gonna come back with a vengeance this year. My team is coming.
Good. Gonna kick some butt. Oh, awesome. So Megs, we've chatted about quite a lot. From the art to the lifting. Is there anything sort of that you'd like to talk about or to add?
No, I think we've covered, pretty much everything. But I'm excited with where the gym is going this year. There are lots of opportunities for people to work with us, which I don't know if they really know about. They see us as powerlifting coaches, but does that just mean a program and off you go? No, we're really trying to push.
What are you what are the other aspects that people can use?
Yeah, we're trying to push our online coaching now. We do have quite a few clients all around the world. But, powerlifting is becoming so much more accessible now. And, it really does just help to have that person in your back pocket, that helps you along the way so that you don't have to, make the same mistakes we did or figure things out by yourself, because, people actually want to achieve their goals. They don't want to spend months and months trying to figure it out.
So can online people join a house as well?
Yes, yeah, they do. Good. So all my private clients are in my house, and Chantal's and Erin's in theirs too.
All right, cool. But that's important.
You get online points.
Yeah, even the online is community, right? And that's so important.
It is. Yeah, for sure. We're doing our nutrition coaching, and we are getting a lot of resources up for our community on our Facebook group and all of that. And then obviously, we love being at powerlifting competitions, and we have a big team that we handle, and we're getting extra hands to even help us there. But if anyone does need someone, how important it is to have someone in your corner on the day. We 100%. Are also open to helping and just popping in for the day to get you sorted
Okay,
and
cool.
hopefully make your first comp a good experience.
100%. And that's, it's the thing that I loved with the last comp that we had at you guys was not only the Boerewors stuff, which the guys loved, but the fact that there were bar ones and chocolates as well, which is so important.
We're keeping the community at large happy.
Absolutely. So how do guys get hold of you? How do they get hold of the gym? I mean, we've got down below how if they want to get in touch, everything through your Instagram.
Yeah, go through Instagram, go to at barbell1610.com, at barbell1610, no.com.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, everything you need is there. You can book free sessions with us to try it out. You can
Right.
book online consults with us, and yeah, we go from there.
Okay. Absolutely epic. Very, very cool. Um, it's been awesome sort of, we've known one another for quite a while. So just to watch sort of the progression and how things are progressing and evolving, it's always awesome to see. Absolutely love
Thank
what
you.
you're doing with the art and what you're bringing into that, because I really think that there should be a world tour for that with you, going to setting up this at all the gyms. I think for a gym, if you want to give a gift to your clients at the end of the year, instead of a tog bag or a water bottle or a t-shirt, I think something like this, helping them create their own art and keep something that should be that's absolutely phenomenal. So gyms out there, are you
Thank
listening?
you.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah,
would be
well, we'll
something
get
really
you
cool.
set up with one
Yeah.
soon.
100, no, 100. I've got a big wall that I need
Fabulous.
to cover, so we might have to get Justin or Ian in to stand
There we
in for
go.
me, or we'll do about 8 or 9 different
Yeah,
canvases.
sounds great.
All right,
Keen.
awesome, man. Thank you so much for your time. We're going to end the
Thank
recording
you.
now. I'll chat to you in a sec. Thanks, Meg.